Breaking right now on 13 Action News Live at 11, a brush fire exploding in size, forcing evacuations in Southern California. Plus, new tonight, a community coming together to help baby Wyatt fighting to live after a violent crash.
He's just a rock star. He's honestly where I get my strength from.
Plus, agreement reached. Brett Kavanaugh's accuser set to testify next week, what this will mean for his confirmation to the highest court. And honoring local heroes, how the story of a former prisoner of war is inspiring others to serve our country. But first, new tonight, our community banding together to help baby Wyatt. He's been fighting for his life after a T-bone crash earlier this year. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter spoke with Wyatt's family at an event tonight.
Well, since the middle of June, baby Wyatt has been fighting for his life. But tonight, folks are here on a happy note, bringing the community together to give Wyatt and his family the support they need. The drinks, the music, and the prizes were flowing inside Tommy Rocker's Bar and Grill Saturday night, and it was all to help this little guy in a fight for his life.
It's just such a tragedy because he had his whole life ahead of him, and we're still hoping he can have a fulfilling life.
At just 9 months old, Wyatt was seriously injured in this crash over the summer in the Northwest Valley. Wyatt in the backseat, his parents up front when their car was T-boned.
Waking up after blacking out after the impact and not hearing your son crying is the hardest thing that anybody would ever have to go through.
Wyatt has been in and out of the hospital since, even celebrating his first birthday at UMC. Battling severe spinal injuries and breathing issues.
His diaphragm on the right side is not working, it's paralyzed.
But tonight, an outpouring of support to help Wyatt and his family.
He's just a rock star. He's honestly where I get my strength from.
Wyatt's dad, Cole, says his son is the strongest person he knows and says the community out here tonight, they're more than just supporters, they're family.
Just dealing with a lot of terrible feelings. It's hard to believe that there are so many good people out there that are willing to support us.
And Wyatt's family has actually set up a GoFundMe page to help out with some of those hospital bills. We have a link to that GoFundMe page on our website at ktnv.com. Austin Carter, 13 Action News.
We'll be pulling for him. Thank you, Austin. Well, now to some breaking news. A brush fire in Southern California has now burned through more than 3,000 acres. Dubbed the Charlie Fire, the blaze is in Castaic. That's in North Los Angeles County. It broke out just after 3 this afternoon. Aircraft and ground crews are battling that fire. At this time, no structures have been threatened, but evacuation orders are in place.
Good news is it looks like that smoke from the fire should stay away from Las Vegas. If it gets any bigger, though, that's something we'll have to watch. Today, hot day. Winds picked up a little bit from the southwest. That just increased the heat just a little bit. The average high 92. We hit 99 today. The record 104. Good news. Not a record high, but hey, you know what? Upcoming this week, we're going to get awfully close. Right now, we've cooled to 86 in Las Vegas, 80 though out in Henderson. North Las Vegas 85, clear skies. Winds are light out this time. Overnight tonight, we'll drop to about 76. We'll lose 10 more degrees at McCarran. Some other areas probably in the upper 60s for tomorrow morning. Most of the day tomorrow, 90s will be around with those winds picking up. That high 98 degrees. Even warmer temperatures by the middle of the week. We'll take a look at that extended forecast coming up. Tom.
All right, thanks, Dan. Well, now an update to breaking news. Power is back on for nearly 30,000 NV Energy customers in the northwest part of the valley. That outage was caused by a piece of patio awning that was picked up by a gust of wind and got entangled in power lines. Now, that's according to Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. Traffic signals in the area also went out, but things are back to normal tonight. And this is the kind of stuff we want to let you know of as soon as it happens. You can get breaking news anytime and any place. Just get the free KTNV mobile app. Well, Henderson police say a violent armed robbery led to a deadly officer-involved shooting this morning. Now, this all happened just before 5 o'clock near Gibson and Trail Canyon. Officers identified the suspect vehicle on their way to the original scene. They tried to conduct a traffic stop, but that vehicle kept on going. The driver eventually stopped and then ran. Investigators say he pulled out a gun, and that encounter ended in a shooting. The suspect was pronounced dead on scene. And this is the third officer-involved shooting in Henderson this year. There have been more than 20 throughout our valley so far in 2018. We have an interactive map of all of these shootings. Just look for that on our website at ktnv.com. Nevadans recently honored former prisoners of war and those listed as missing in action. 13 Action News reporter Nina Porshunkala spoke to one of our own local heroes whose story has inspired others to serve our country.
Tom Dean Whitaker was a prisoner of war. The former Army second lieutenant was captured in Germany during World War II. He thought he wouldn't make it, but now he's in his 90s. He formed a bond with a local teen, inspiring him to become a Marine.
I got some touch-up to do on the bottom.
Dean Whitaker is always busy.
I swim every day.
He's far more active and stronger than many people his age.
I am 93.
But I guess it only makes sense. After all, this former Army second lieutenant survived Germany after being captured by Nazis. He was just 19 years old.
The German civilians were shooting at me.
He met Lucille and married her shortly after he was freed. 70 years later, they're still together.
Life has been very good to me.
Korea Socks helps in taking care of Dean and Lucille.
Make sure you drink water.
Over the years, her son Emiliano formed a bond with Dean. His story was the last push Emiliano needed to join the Marines, telling his mother.
This country gave me a lot, and I want to return with something.
Dean and Emiliano continue to talk. The veteran and former prisoner of war constantly giving this 19-year-old Marine advice. Dean once thought death was coming for him in Nazi Germany. But here he is today, telling his story and inspiring others.
Enjoy that life and take care of everybody.
And one thing that veterans like Dean are asking from people like us is to live life and recognize the freedom we enjoy right now is made possible because of the sacrifices they made. Nina Pershuncula, 13, Action News.
Thank you, Nina, and thanks to both of them for their service. Well, looking ahead now, former First Lady Michelle Obama will be right here in Las Vegas this weekend headlining a voter registration rally. The organization When We All Vote is hosting that rally at Chaparral High School near Twain and Sandhill from 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Michelle Obama is a co-chair of that organization, which encourages people to vote. Well, right now, thousands of people are in downtown Las Vegas for the Life is Beautiful Music Festival. Pretty exciting. This is video from the first night of the Music, Art, and Food Festival. The Las Vegas News Bureau tells us an estimated 170,000 people packed downtown last night. Now, this is the 6th year for the event. The 3-day festival will wrap up tomorrow night. And if you want to take a look at all the sights from Life is Beautiful, we have a photo gallery on our website at ktnv.com. And also tonight, the iHeartRadio Festival is going on at the T-Mobile Arena. The daytime part of it wrapped up at the festival grounds near Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara. Chopper 13 was flying over the area while they were still setting up, you see there, and this was the first outdoor concert on the Strip since 1 October. Metro and MGM have increased security to keep everyone safe. And check this out. Friday night, Jason Aldean honored police officers who helped in the 1 October shooting when he performed at the concert. Well, there's a new place for your dog to play in Henderson. Tonight, Desert Pulse Park celebrated its grand opening. It includes Dakota Dog Park, and it features a dedicated area for small dogs and another for large dogs. Now, it's located on Pulse Avenue near Lake Mead and Warm Springs. A handful of city and community officials were on hand for a ribbon-cutting ceremony this morning. That 5-acre park also includes picnic areas, a climbing wall, and a playground area. New tonight, Taking the Wheel. Shocking video shows a school bus driver letting students drive it. The consequences she's now facing. Plus,
our family's not the same anymore. My husband's not the same person.
A local family living a nightmare.
Pain is always constant. It just seems to be getting worse.
A corrections officer injured on duty. Why many say the system is letting him down. Plus, do you hate spoilers? Well, it turns out there are different ways people spoil shows and movies. We break it down. Well, shocking new video showing an Indiana bus driver teaching her students how to drive the bus. A parent told police she let 3 students behind the wheel, actually letting them drive a short distance. Those students were 11, 13, and 17 years old. She was immediately fired by the company, and she was charged with felony neglect. New tonight, police and corrections officers take an oath to serve and protect, and you'd expect that when they're injured on duty, they're taken care of. But Chief Investigator Darcy Spears has a heartbreaking story tonight about a system that many say is letting our officers down.
A corrections officer and his family are living a nightmare. After an unfortunate accident caused a spinal cord injury, he feels like he was thrown away when he just wanted to heal and go back to work. That's because instead of helping, he says workers' comp is copping out.
The pain is always constant. It just seems to be getting worse.
Robert Stills spends most of his time managing pain and doing what he can to keep his body moving.
It's starting to get more difficult. I get maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days a week where I can't actually do anything.
His wife, Vicky, feels helpless and heartbroken.
Our family's not the same anymore. My husband's not the same person. In some ways, I've lost my husband. He's not able to do things he was able to do before.
Before, Robert was an energetic outdoorsman who loved travel, was in great physical shape, and was an involved and active father of 4.
I always enjoy life. I was spending time with kids, doing sports with them.
He spent 4 years in the Air Force serving our country before moving on to a career in healthcare accounting. At age 42, he changed course, becoming a corrections officer at the Clark County Detention Center in 2008. But that chapter was cut short on April 10, 2013, when Robert pulled a heavy cart full of inmate meals off an elevator.
Yeah, I was pulling a cart out of the elevator and you kind of had to turn, and when I was turning, one of the wheels locked up or broke, and I felt the pain in the shoulder and the neck.
Robert filed for workers' comp. He went to urgent care where the doctor told him to get an MRI stat, but workers' comp initially denied Robert's claim, so he got an MRI on his own, and sure enough, it shows multiple discs in his neck damaged, at least 2 pinching his spinal cord.
It got to where he couldn't barely walk without help. His hands, he couldn't use them. I had to help him with every physical need.
Vicky talked to a lawyer and soon learned what many say are dark secrets about the workers' comp system.
They have you hostage, and those were his words. You are held hostage in this state. The law says they have 30 days to decide whether it's really work comp or not.
A workers' comp doctor confirmed his symptoms are a direct result of the incident he described as occurring on the job. Even so, Robert didn't get the workers' comp approved MRI until months later, and surgery 82 days after his injury.
Said it created white matter damage, and that's what the doctor said. That's going to be dead. I'm going to have nerve issues, for the remainder of my life.
After battling delays and outright denials, Robert's family wants to know how an insurance adjuster can override the ER doctor's immediate order for an MRI. But there's little he can do to hold them accountable because Nevada law states you cannot sue your employer or a third-party company in workers' comp cases, even when they violate the law.
This is all about money.
Randy Sutton is a former Metro lieutenant.
I wish I could tell you that what is happening in Robert's case is an isolated incident, but it's not.
After 24 years on the force, Randy suffered a heart attack while on patrol. He says Metro's workers' comp delayed and denied his claims too, and he's seen it happen to hundreds of officers.
The desperation in these law enforcement families is something that is so incredibly dramatic to see, and so tragic is the only word that I can use.
Robert's battle is now against complications typical of spinal injuries, which will plague him for life. And Vicky says there's something else that's slowly killing her husband.
Sleeping is the biggest thing.
The pain is so bad it cuts through, keeping Robert from getting much more than minutes of sleep at a time.
He has about 7 years from the injury before his body just shuts down.
As they stare down his fate, they still have to fight. The system they expected to help Robert remains their biggest adversary, denying and delaying care, forcing them to file appeal after appeal, overwhelming them with paperwork.
I was spoiled fruit. That was no good. Discarded.
Now knowing just what could happen to someone you love in the blink of an eye, Vicky is fighting for change.
I want to make a difference with my husband's case because he only has a limited time. And I want what happened to him to make a difference. I lost my husband. I want what happened to him to make a difference.
Even though Robert is openly talking about his case, Metro says state law prevents them from talking to us about any workers' comp issues. We also reached out to the insurance company that handles workers' comp for Metro, but they declined an on-camera interview too. Randy Sutton is creating a new national organization called Wounded Blue to help officers in these situations. We have a link on ktnv.com for more information. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
Just heartbreaking story. Thank you, Darcy. Well, right now, sources are telling ABC News that Brett Kavanaugh's accuser is set to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee this coming Thursday. Dr. Christine Blasey Ford is accusing Kavanaugh of sexual assault. Kavanaugh has denied Ford's allegations against him. Ford's decision to appear before the committee will give her the chance to tell her story publicly for the first time. Well, new tonight, spoilers are the worst, right? It's bad enough when they come from the internet, but now Netflix says there are 5 different types of people who like to spoil shows and movies. The shameless spoiler, pretty self-explanatory. You have no shame and you think it's fair game to ruin the ending if other people have seen it. You might be a power spoiler if you want everyone to know you've already seen the show, so you kind of tell everyone the ending as a way to show off. The coded spoiler tends to be someone who likes to play games, so if you've hinted at how a story ends without actually giving it away, you might be a coded spoiler. And some people can't help but give it away. Those people are called impulsive spoilers. And you may have good intentions, but it doesn't mean anything if you're ruining it for everyone else. That might make you the clueless spoiler. Like the shameless spoiler, you think if you've seen it, so has everyone else. Yeah, and we love connecting and hearing from you, so we asked if you consider yourself a spoiler, and as you can see there, most of you said no. You can join that conversation on our Facebook page. I actually took that quiz and said I was the clueless spoiler, because usually I'm late to the party on all the big shows, and so I watch them after everybody else, so by the time I watch it, I just assume everybody else has already.
The producer made me do it. I was a clueless spoiler, but
yeah,
I don't believe in that stuff. I don't buy that stuff. It's a survey done online.
And hey, you heard the forecast is going to be warmer than average. Am I spoiling this?
No, because I think everyone knows it's Las Vegas and we have been so warm recently, it is not going to cool off, and that's exactly what's happening. Is this heat is going to last. It was a warm day today. It will be tomorrow. Outside, that's what it looks like down the strip. Absolutely gorgeous shot right there looking at Mandalay Bay, the stratosphere in the background. Like winds out there, and temperatures not too bad considering that was your high. 99 degrees Las Vegas. I was at McCarran, 92 Summerlin, 99 also Centennial Hills, 100 downtown, also 100 out in Henderson. Hey, right now we've cooled a little bit. 86 that current temperature Las Vegas, 87 downtown, 80 in Summerlin, 74 Red Rock. Once you get outside the city, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful temperature out there. You know, temperature is going to drop into the 60s there tonight and the low 50s up in the mountain by tomorrow morning. Now your allergy forecast in that moderate range all week long. We're at 6s. It's up a little bit because that summer heat has, well, not has, but has kind of escaped us in a way. Only in the day do we feel it. At nights we've cooled, so things able to bloom a little bit. So pollen counts up a little bit. Now your temperatures tonight drop to about 76 degrees for Las Vegas, so mild. We should be at 70, 69 degrees. 52 up in Alamo tonight. 48 Tonopah. It's going to be cold waking up there. 79 for Laughlin and still very warm in Death Valley with a low of 81 degrees. 76 for Green Valley. 75 Whitney. 73 Sunrise Manor tonight. Daytime highs tomorrow about the same as today. Still approaching 100 here in Las Vegas. Hopefully we don't do it. I don't want to hit 100 again the rest of the year, but it looks like we might. You'll see them in the 7-day. 109 tomorrow. Death Valley. If you like the heat, head out there. 104 in Laughlin. Still extremely warm. 93 for Summerlin tomorrow. Going 97 North Las Vegas and Boulder City. Also sitting at that 97 degrees. Life is beautiful tomorrow. Last day of that. And you know what? Temperatures looking warm, but that's a given. You know, the winds, they're going to be a little breezy tomorrow afternoon. You can see that south-southwest wind, 3 o'clock, 15 miles an hour, 13 at 6. We'll lose the winds after that sun sets, and that's when temperatures will cool a little bit. Vegas over the next week, which is the first full week of autumn, pretty much. Sunday through Sunday starts the full day. Today, just half the day was the first day of fall. It's going to be more summer-like than fall-like. If you want to see fall weather, head up to Duluth, Minnesota. That's where things are going to cool off, and it is going to feel like fall up there as they're going to have overnight lows in the 30s a couple nights. Yeah, the 30s. Not even close here. Our overnight lows dropping into the mid-70s every day, 73 degrees, probably the coolest. Over the next week, we should be in the 60s already. We haven't seen anything below 70. Actually, we did hit 69 once the other day for a brief moment. A lot of sunshine out there throughout the week. Daytime highs pushing 100. As I mentioned, we could have actually hit 100, I think, a couple times this week with those highs at 99 degrees. Tom.
Wild to say that it's already fall. Thanks, Dan. Well, tonight, remembering those we've lost, a look at a new creation aimed at helping people heal nearly a year after 1 October. And don't forget to download KTNV Mobile. It's in the App Store and in Google Play. It's free and it lets you watch 13 Action News video anywhere you have mobile service. We'll be right back. A federal judge says he wants more information before deciding whether negligence lawsuits stemming from the 1 October shooting should be heard in state or U.S. court. MGM is suing survivors of the tragedy. Attorneys representing victims and their families argue their cases should be heard in state court. MGM Resorts wants them held in federal court. There, they can argue that they're shielded from death or injury claims by federal law enacted after the September 11th terrorist attacks. Well, a new piece of art has been added to the Las Vegas Healing Garden, and it came all the way from New York. Bobby Jacobs created an angel wing sculpture to honor the 58 people who lost their lives during 1 October. It's 6 feet tall, 3,000 pounds, and has initials of every victim. Jacobs says it took him about 8 months to complete.
The initials were the hardest part, putting the initials on the back. You know, you hear 58 people were murdered, and it's a big number when you hear it. But when you start putting initials on a sculpture, one set at a time, 58 becomes a very big number.
Jacobs and his wife have started the Spread Your Wings project, which provides therapy through art in response to tragedies across our nation. Well, tonight, a warning for pet owners trying to protect your pets, but you may be putting them in danger. Tonight, the FDA sounding the alarm. We'll be right back. From Contact 13, a new warning from the FDA about flea and tick meds for our pets. It says the pills and chews listed on your screen have a pesticide that can make dogs and cats sick. We're talking tremors, no muscle control, and even seizures. The FDA now wants those labels to be more clear. It says the medicine is still for sale though, because they work with most animals with no issues. The best thing you can do is talk to your vet about what medicine is best for your situation. If your pet does have a reaction, you should get them to the vet right away. Well, it's a case of something that isn't what it appears to be. In Houston, a donation of a pallet of bananas to a prison turned out to be $18 million worth of cocaine in disguise. The 540 kilos were found under bundles of actual bananas. 2 sergeants made the discovery when they went to pick up the delivery at a port. U.S. Customs and DEA agents responded and seized the drugs. Well, the temps may be high, but it's officially fall. Coming up, from leaf peeping to pumpkin spice everything, fall facts that might surprise you. Well, trending now, it may be triple digits, but believe it or not, fall is officially here. So in honor of the harvest season, we've got some fun fall facts. People travel great distances to see beautiful fall leaf colors, but the colors actually exist all year long. They're just more common in the fall. And did you know fall is only called fall to Americans, even though the term was coined in Britain? And for all you pumpkin spice lovers, that flavor isn't actually pumpkin. Truth is, the flavor of the orange vegetable is almost never used. Instead, what you're tasting is cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves. But, you know, even though it's fall, it's still pretty much summer here in Vegas, so you might have to wait a little bit while to enjoy it. But that's 13 Action News live at 11. We're always on at ktnv.com, our mobile app, Roku channel. Our next reports begin at 5 a.m. on Good Morning Las Vegas. Thanks for watching. From all of us at Channel 13, have a good night.